She hid the truth about their child until fate forced them together. Lucas Sullivan hated Tuesday mornings, not for any profound reason, just the usual: traffic on the 405, back-to-back meetings, the relentless hum of Los Angeles pretending yesterday's problems didn't exist. He was 38 now, senior architect at Bennett Associates. Good salary, nice apartment in Silver Lake, a life that looked complete from the outside, except for the part where he came home every night to silence. That Tuesday started like any other. Coffee at 6 a.m., emails by 6:30, out the door by 7:15 to beat the worst of the traffic. NPR on the radio talking about things Lucas had stopped caring about years ago. He made it to the office by 8:20. Small victory, his assistant Jennifer was already at her desk. She looked up when he walked in. Morning. You have the presentation at 10, lunch with the developer at noon, and someone named Isabella Martinez called 3 times yesterday. She says it's urgent. Lucas froze mid-step. Isabella Martinez. He hadn't heard that name in 12 years. Jennifer noticed his expression. You okay? Lucas forced himself to nod. Yeah. Did she leave a number? Jennifer handed him a pink message slip. A 213 area code. Downtown. Lucas stared at the number like it might explode. Isabella, his ex-girlfriend from grad school. The woman he'd planned to marry. The woman who'd told him she'd terminated a pregnancy they'd accidentally created, then disappeared from his life entirely. That was 12 years ago. Lucas was 26. Isabella was 24. Both of them broke, ambitious, terrified. He'd supported her decision. Told her he understood. Held her while she cried. Then she'd broken up with him 2 weeks later, said she needed space, needed to figure out her life without him in it. Lucas had been devastated, but he'd respected her wishes, let her go, and spent the next 12 years wondering what their child would have looked like. Now she was calling, after 12 years of silence. Urgent. Lucas went into his office, closed the door, stared at the message slip for 10 minutes. Then he dialed. She picked up on the second ring. Lucas. Her voice, older, steadier, but unmistakably hers. Isabella. Silence, the kind that holds 12 years of questions neither of them knew how to ask. Before we continue, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Thank you. I know this is out of nowhere, she said finally. I know I have no right to call you. Then why are you? More silence. I need to see you, in person. It's about something I should have told you a long time ago. Lucas felt his chest tighten. What is it? Not over the phone. Please, can you meet me today? I have meetings. Lucas, her voice cracked. Please, it's important. He closed his eyes. Where? She gave him an address, a coffee shop in Echo Park. Neutral territory. 2 o'clock? I'll be there. She hung up. Lucas sat at his desk, phone still in his hand, trying to remember how to breathe. Jennifer knocked. Your 10 o'clock is here. Lucas stood, straightened his tie, put on the professional mask he'd perfected over a decade of pretending he was fine. But inside, he was 26 again. Sitting in a clinic waiting room, holding Isabella's hand. Watching her disappear behind a door he couldn't follow her through. The presentation went terribly. Lucas couldn't focus. Stumbled over slides he'd rehearsed a dozen times. His boss gave him a concerned look afterward, but didn't say anything. Lunch was worse. Lucas ordered food he didn't taste. Nodded at things he didn't hear. The developer probably thought he was hungover. By 1:45, Lucas was in his car. Driving to Echo Park, heart pounding, hands shaking on the steering wheel. He arrived early, sat in the parking lot. Tried to prepare himself for whatever Isabella was about to say. At 1:58, he walked into the coffee shop and saw her, 12 years older, still beautiful, hair longer than he remembered. Wearing a simple blue dress and a cardigan that looked worn in all the familiar places. She stood when she saw him. They stared at each other across the cafe. Then Lucas walked over, sat down. Hi, Isabella said softly. Hi. Up close he could see the lines around her eyes, the exhaustion, the fear. Thank you for coming, she said. You said it was important. Isabella nodded, looked down at her hands. They were shaking. I lied to you 12 years ago. Lucas felt the floor tilt. About what? Isabella took a breath, met his eyes. I didn't terminate the pregnancy. The world stopped. Lucas stared at her, trying to process the words, trying to make them make sense. What? I didn't go through with it. I couldn't. I tried. I went to the clinic. But when they called my name, I just couldn't. Lucas couldn't breathe. Are you telling me? We have a daughter. Isabella's voice broke. Her name is Sophia. She's 11 years old. And she's in the hospital right now. Lucas stood so fast his chair fell backward. The cafe went quiet. People stared. He didn't care. You have our daughter. You've had her for 11 years and you never told me. Isabella was crying now. I know how it sounds. How it sounds. Isabella, you let me believe I didn't have a child. You let me grieve something that wasn't even real. Do you have any idea what that did to me? I was protecting you. From what? From being a father. From ruining your life. The words echoed in the small cafe. Isabella wiped her eyes, steadied herself. You had just gotten into the graduate architecture program at USC. Full scholarship. You were 26 years old with your whole future ahead of you. A baby would have destroyed that. That wasn't your decision to make. I know, but I made it anyway. And I've lived with it every day since. Lucas sank back into his chair, put his head in his hands. I have a daughter. Yes. She's 11. Yes. And she's in the hospital. Isabella nodded, fresh tears streaming down her face. She has leukemia, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. She was diagnosed 6 months ago. She's been in treatment at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. She needs a bone marrow transplant. I'm not a match. My family isn't either. The donor registry hasn't found anyone compatible. She reached across the table, grabbed his hand. You're her best chance, Lucas. I need you to get tested, please. Lucas looked at her. At this woman who'd kept his daughter from him for 11 years. Who'd lied, who'd stolen over a decade of his child's life. And all he could think was, I have a daughter and she's dying. Where is she? Children's Hospital, 6th floor, room 604. Lucas stood. I'm going now. Lucas, wait. But he was already walking out, leaving Isabella sitting alone in the cafe where she'd just shattered his entire understanding of his own life. Lucas drove to Children's Hospital in a daze, parked, walked through automatic doors that smelled like antiseptic and fear, took the elevator to the 6th floor, found room 604. The door was partially open. Inside, a little girl sat propped up in a hospital bed, bald from chemotherapy, pale, thin, but smiling at something on her iPad. She looked up when his shadow fell across the doorway. And Lucas saw his own eyes looking back at him. Hi, she said. Are you lost? Lucas opened his mouth, but no words came out. Because he wasn't lost. For the first time in 12 years, he'd been found. Lucas stood frozen in the doorway of room 604. Sophia tilted her head, studying him with the unself-conscious curiosity only children possess. You okay, mister? He managed to find his voice. Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, wrong room. He backed out, leaned against the hallway wall, tried to remember how to breathe. That was his daughter. His daughter. A girl he'd never met, never held, never read bedtime stories to, or taught to ride a bike, or walk to her first day of school. 11 years of her life, gone, stolen. Footsteps approached. Isabella appeared around the corner. She must have followed him from the cafe. Lucas, he looked at her. All the anger he'd been too shocked to feel earlier came flooding back. You had no right. I know. You stole 11 years from me, from her, from both of us. I know. Stop saying that. His voice echoed down the hospital corridor. A nurse glanced over, concerned. Lucas lowered his voice to a harsh whisper. Stop acting like I know makes this okay. It doesn't. Nothing makes this okay. Isabella's composure cracked. She pressed her hand against the wall to steady herself. You're right. Nothing makes it okay. But I can't change it. All I can do is tell you why. Why? You already said. You thought you were protecting me. From what, Isabella? From my own child? From throwing away everything you'd worked for, Lucas, you grew up with nothing. Your mum cleaned houses to put you through school. You were the first person in your family to go to college, to graduate school. That scholarship was everything. So you decided for me. Yes, I decided you deserved your dreams more than I deserved to trap you. Trap me? Is that what you thought a baby would do? Isabella closed her eyes. My mum had me when she was 19. My dad left 6 months later. I watched her work 3 jobs trying to keep us afloat. She never went to college, never traveled, never did anything she dreamed about because she was too busy making sure I had food and clothes and a roof over my head. She opened her eyes. They were red, exhausted. I loved you, Lucas. I loved you so much it terrified me, and I couldn't do that to you. Couldn't watch you resent me for ruining your future. So I made a choice. Without me. Without you. Lucas turned away. Stared at the linoleum floor. How did you manage? Alone with a baby? I dropped out of grad school, moved back in with my mum in Boyle Heights, got a job as a medical translator at County Hospital. My mum watched Sophia while I worked. It was hard, really hard, but we made it work. You could have told me, any time in the last 11 years. I tried, so many times. I'd write emails I never sent, dial your number and hang up before it rang, show up at your office building and lose my nerve in the parking lot. Lucas turned back to her. You came to my office. 3 times. The last time was 2 years ago. I saw you through the window. You looked so successful, so put together, and I thought, I made the right choice. Look what he got to become. I would have traded all of it. Lucas's voice broke. Every degree, every project, every award. I would have traded it all to know her. Isabella wiped her eyes. I know that now, but 12 years ago I didn't. I was 24 and terrified and convinced I was doing the noble thing. They stood in silence, hospital sounds filling the space between them, beeping monitors, hushed conversations, the squeak of nurses' shoes on tile. Tell me about her, Lucas said finally. Isabella's face softened, transformed. She's brilliant, reads 3 grades above her level, wants to be a marine biologist, obsessed with octopuses. She can tell you everything about their camouflage abilities and problem-solving intelligence. A small smile crept onto Lucas's face despite everything. She gets that from you. You were always the science one. She has your stubbornness. Once she decides she wants something, she doesn't give up. And your sense of humor. She makes these terrible puns that make me groan, but I secretly love them. Does she know about me? The question hung heavy. I told her father had to leave before she was born, that it wasn't his choice, that he didn't know about her. So she thinks I abandoned you both. No, I made it clear you didn't know. But Lucas, she's never asked to meet you. I think she decided a long time ago that it was easier not to wonder. Lucas absorbed this. And now she's sick, and I'm desperate. I called you because I've exhausted every other option. But if you get tested and you're a match, she'll have questions. She'll want to know who you are. Good, she deserves to know. Are you sure? Because once you're in her life, you can't just leave. I won't let you break her heart. Lucas met Isabella's eyes. I've already missed 11 years. I'm not missing another day. He walked back to Sophia's room, knocked gently. Come in, her small voice called. He entered. She looked up from her iPad. Wrong room guy is back. Lucas smiled despite the chaos in his chest. Actually, I'm in the right place. I'm Lucas. I'm a friend of your mum's. Sophia studied him with those familiar eyes. From before I was born. Smart kid. Yeah, from before you were born. Are you here to get tested? For the bone marrow thing? Direct, just like him. I am. Cool, they'll take blood first. It doesn't hurt much, just a pinch. I've had like 1 million blood draws, so I'm basically an expert. Lucas sat in the chair beside her bed. I bet you are. Your mum says you like octopuses. Sophia's face lit up. They're amazing. Did you know they have 3 hearts and blue blood? And they can squeeze through any opening bigger than their beak, which is the only hard part of their body. I did not know that. Most people don't. They're really underrated. Everyone thinks dolphins are smart, but octopuses can solve puzzles and use tools, and they're basically underwater geniuses. Lucas found himself genuinely smiling. What's your favorite species? Giant Pacific octopus. They can grow up to 16 feet across, and they live in the Pacific Northwest. I want to go to the Seattle Aquarium someday and see one in person. That sounds like a great trip. Yeah, Mum says we'll go when I'm better. When I'm better, not if. This 11-year-old girl with cancer spoke about her future with absolute certainty. Lucas felt something crack open in his chest. You will be better. I'm going to make sure of it. Sophia tilted her head. You sound really sure about that. I am, she smiled, a real smile that transformed her pale, tired face into something radiant. I like you, wrong room guy. I like you too, Sophia. Isabella appeared in the doorway, saw them talking. Her hand went to her mouth. Sophia, baby, I need to talk to Lucas for a minute, okay? Okay, but he's coming back, right? Lucas nodded. I'm coming back. Promise? I promise. They stepped into the hallway. Isabella was crying again. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm doing this for her, not for you. The words were harsh, but Isabella didn't flinch. I know. I don't expect your forgiveness. I just need you to save our daughter. Our daughter. The words felt foreign and familiar all at once. Where do I go to get tested? Third floor, donor center. Tell them you're a potential family match for Sophia Martinez. They'll take blood, run the typing. Results in a few days. Lucas nodded. I'll go now. He started toward the elevator. Isabella called after him. Lucas, he turned. She's exactly like you, stubborn and brilliant and so full of hope it breaks my heart. I thought I was protecting you by keeping her from you, but I think I was really protecting myself. Because I knew once you met her, you'd never forgive me for taking this away from you. Lucas stared at her. You're right, I won't. He walked away, left Isabella standing alone in the hallway, carrying 11 years of guilt and the desperate hope that the man she'd lied to would save the daughter he'd never known. The blood draw took 15 minutes. The waiting took 3 days. Lucas couldn't focus on anything. Missed meetings, forgot appointments. His boss called him into her office Thursday afternoon. Lucas, is everything okay? You've been off all week. He almost told her, almost said, I just found out I have an 11-year-old daughter with leukemia, and I might be her only chance at survival. Instead, he said, family emergency. I'll be back to normal soon. She nodded. Didn't push. That night, Lucas sat in his apartment staring at his phone. He'd exchanged numbers with Isabella. Professional, practical, just in case the hospital needed to reach him. He opened their text thread, started typing a dozen messages, deleted them all, finally settled on, How is she today? The response came immediately. Tired, but happy. She won't stop talking about the man who promised to come back. Lucas stared at those words. This child he'd just met believed him, trusted him based on nothing but a promise. He couldn't let her down. Friday morning, his phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Sullivan, this is Dr. Patel from Children's Hospital. Your HLA typing came back. You're a match for Sophia. 10 out of 10 markers. It's extremely rare. You're her best chance. Lucas sat down hard. What's next? We'll need to do more comprehensive testing, physical exam, medical history. The transplant itself is a procedure, but recovery takes time. I'll have my coordinator reach out to schedule everything. How soon can we do it? We typically like to schedule within 2 to 4 weeks of finding a match. Sophia's stable enough to wait that long, but we don't want to delay unnecessarily. I'll clear my schedule, whatever you need. After he hung up, Lucas texted Isabella. I'm a match. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Finally, thank you. God, Lucas. Thank you. Then, can you come to the hospital today? I think we should tell her together. Lucas arrived at 2 p.m., found Isabella in the family waiting room. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. You ready? She asked. No, but let's do it anyway. They walked to Sophia's room. She was drawing, some elaborate underwater scene with an octopus wearing a crown. Hey, Mom. Hey, Lucas. She said his name so casually, like he'd always been there. "Hey, Sophia," Lucas said. "That's an amazing drawing." "Thanks. It's Emperor Octavius. He rules the Pacific with wisdom and 8 arms." Naturally. Isabella sat on the edge of the bed. Lucas took the chair. "Baby, we have some good news," Isabella said. "Lucas got his test results back. He's a match for your transplant." Sophia looked at him, those eyes so serious. "So you're going to give me your bone marrow?" "I am." "Does it hurt?" "A little. But I can handle it." "Why are you doing this? You barely know me." The question was simple. The answer was impossible. Lucas chose honesty. "Because your mum asked me to, and because even though I just met you, I already know you're worth it." Sophia considered this. "Are you my dad?" The room went silent. Isabella's hand flew to her mouth. Lucas felt his heart stop. "What makes you ask that?" Isabella managed. "You look at him the way you look at old photos. Sad and happy at the same time. And he has the same eyes as me. And he showed up the exact day you said you found a match." She looked at Lucas. "You're my dad, aren't you?" Lucas glanced at Isabella. She nodded slightly. "Permission." "Yes," Lucas said. "I'm your dad." Sophia absorbed this. Then, "Did you know about me?" "No, I just found out this week." "Why didn't Mom tell you?" Lucas looked at Isabella. She was crying silently. "That's complicated," Lucas said carefully, "but it wasn't because she wanted to keep us apart. She thought she was protecting both of us." "From what?" "From making mistakes, from struggling, from things she thought would be too hard." Sophia looked at her mom. "Were we a mistake?" Isabella broke. "No, baby. God, no. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. I just thought telling your dad would ruin his life." "I was wrong. I was so wrong." Sophia turned back to Lucas. "Are you mad at her?" Another impossible question. "I'm hurt and confused. But mostly I'm just sorry I missed the first 11 years of your life." "Can you tell me about yourself? So I know who you are." Lucas smiled through his own tears. "I'm an architect. I design buildings. I grew up in Inglewood. I like terrible action movies and good coffee. I'm allergic to shellfish. I can't sing, but I play guitar badly. And apparently I have a daughter who's a genius." Sophia grinned. "I'm not a genius. I just read a lot." "That's what geniuses say." Over the next 2 weeks, Lucas restructured his entire life. He took family medical leave from work, moved temporarily to a hotel near the hospital, spent every day in Sophia's room. At first it was awkward, long silences, careful conversations, the weight of 11 missed years pressing down on every interaction. But Sophia made it easy. She asked questions constantly. "What's your favorite building you designed?" "A community center in Highland Park. It has a rooftop garden." "Do you have any pets?" "No. Do you?" "We have a fish named Bubbles. He's pretty boring, but I love him." "What's your favorite subject in school?" "Science, obviously. Math is okay. I hate PE because I get tired fast." Lucas learned she loved Harry Potter and hated Brussels sprouts, that she could solve a Rubik's Cube in under 3 minutes, that she was terrified of the dark but pretended she wasn't. He read to her when she was too tired to hold a book, brought her puzzles when she was bored, sat quietly when she just needed someone there. Isabella watched from the periphery, grateful, guilty, grieving the relationship she'd prevented. One night after Sophia fell asleep, Lucas and Isabella sat in the hallway. "She likes you," Isabella said. "I like her too. She's incredible." "She is. You would have been so proud watching her grow up." The words stung, but Lucas didn't look away. "Tell me. Tell me everything I missed." So Isabella did. She told him about Sophia's first word, agua, water, because even as a baby she was fascinated by it. About the time she was 3 and insisted on wearing a mermaid costume to the grocery store for 6 months straight. About starting kindergarten and crying because she didn't want to leave her mom. About learning to read at 5 and devouring every book she could reach. About her first science fair project in 3rd grade, a model of the ocean ecosystem that won first place. Lucas absorbed every story, every detail, trying to build a history from fragments. "I'm sorry," Isabella whispered. "I'm so sorry I took this from you." "I know you are." But sorry doesn't give me back those years. No, it doesn't. They sat in silence, the hospital humming around them. What happens after the transplant? Lucas asked. If it works. Recovery, monitoring. She'll be immunocompromised for months, needs to avoid crowds, germs, stress. What about school? Homeschooling until her immune system stabilizes, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. And you, how are you managing work? I'm not. I took unpaid leave, savings are almost gone, but that's not important. Getting her better is all that matters. Lucas made a decision. I want to help. Financially. For medical bills, living expenses, whatever you need. Lucas, you don't have to. She's my daughter. I've missed 11 years of supporting her. Let me start now. Isabella's eyes filled. Okay, thank you. The transplant was scheduled for a Wednesday. Tuesday night, Lucas sat with Sophia. She was quiet, scared but trying to hide it. You nervous? He asked. A little. What if it doesn't work? It will work. How do you know? Because you're the toughest person I've ever met. And because I'm giving you the good Sullivan genes. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. What if I die? Lucas felt his heart crack. You're not going to die. But what if I do? I want to know that you'll be okay. He took her hand. So small in his. Sophia, if something happened to you, I wouldn't be okay. I just found you. I'm not ready to lose you. You'd have Mom. You guys still love each other. I can tell. Lucas blinked, surprised. What makes you think that? The way you look at each other when you think nobody's watching. It's the same way people look at each other in movies before they kiss. Life isn't a movie, kiddo. I know, but sometimes it should be. Sometimes people who are supposed to be together should get a second chance. She yawned, the medication making her drowsy. Promise me you'll take care of Mom if something happens to me. She acts tough, but she needs someone. Nothing's going to happen to you, but I promise. Okay, love you, Dad. The words hit him like a physical force. Dad, she'd called him Dad. Love you too. Sophia. She fell asleep holding his hand. Lucas sat there for hours, watching her breathe, memorizing her face, praying to a God he wasn't sure he believed in. Isabella found him at midnight. You should sleep. Tomorrow's going to be hard. I can't leave her. Then I'll stay too. They pulled chairs together, sat on either side of Sophia's bed, watching their daughter sleep. Somewhere around 2 a.m., Isabella whispered, I wish I'd told you. From the beginning. We could have done this together. Yeah, we could have. Do you think you'll ever forgive me? Lucas didn't answer right away. I don't know. But I'm going to try. For her. Isabella nodded, wiped her eyes. And in that hospital room, under fluorescent lights that never dimmed, 2 people who'd lost each other 12 years ago sat together. United by the child they'd made, the daughter who'd survived 11 years without her father and was now fighting for her life with his bone marrow as her only weapon. Tomorrow, Lucas would give Sophia part of himself. Literally. Cells that would hopefully rebuild her immune system. Give her a future. But tonight, he just held her hand and hoped it was enough. The transplant took 6 hours. Lucas lay on one table while doctors harvested his bone marrow. Sophia waited on another floor while nurses prepared her body to receive it. Isabella sat in the waiting room, alone, praying in Spanish the way her mother had taught her, words she hadn't spoken since she was a child. When they wheeled Lucas to recovery, he was groggy but coherent. Sophia. She's in her room, a nurse said. The infusion is starting now. You can see her in a few hours. He tried to sit up, failed. I need to see her. Mr. Sullivan, you just had surgery. You need to rest. I need to see my daughter. Isabella appeared in the doorway. I'll take him. The nurse looked dubious, but something in Isabella's face made her relent. They found Sophia in her room, the bag of Lucas's bone marrow hanging beside her bed, deep red, dripping slowly into her central line. She was awake, watching it with fascination. Hey, Dad. Lucas's heart swelled every time she said that word. Hey, kiddo, how you feeling? Weird. Your blood is inside me now. That's so cool and gross at the same time. That's the Sullivan bone marrow talking. We're all about cool and gross. She laughed, then winced. Does it hurt? Isabella asked, immediately at her side. Just a little, like a pinch. I'm okay, Mom. They stayed with her, watching the marrow drip, counting down minutes, hoping cells were already getting to work. The first week after transplant was relatively calm. Sophia was tired but stable. The marrow seemed to be engrafting. Early signs were promising. Lucas stayed in the hotel, visited every day, brought books, puzzles, stories from the outside world. Isabella barely left Sophia's side, sleeping in a cot next to her bed. Eating hospital cafeteria food, slowly fading into exhaustion. Lucas noticed. When's the last time you went home? Few days. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're running on fumes. I can't leave her. You can for a few hours. Go home, shower, sleep in a real bed. I'll stay with her. Isabella hesitated. Go, Sophia said. Dad's right. You look terrible. Thanks, baby. I mean it with love. Isabella finally agreed. Left Lucas and Sophia alone. They played cards. Sophia won every game. You're cheating, Lucas accused. I'm strategic. That's what cheaters say. She grinned, then her expression turned serious. Can I ask you something? Anything. Do you wish Mom had told you about me? Every day. Even though it would have been really hard. Even though... Why? Lucas set down his cards. Because being a parent is supposed to be hard. It's worth it, but it's hard. And I deserved the chance to figure that out for myself. Are you mad at her? I was. I'm less mad now, more just sad. About what we all lost. Do you still love her? The question caught him off guard. That's complicated. That's what adults say when the answer is yes, but they're scared to admit it. When did you get so wise? I'm 11. I know everything. Lucas laughed, a real laugh that felt good in his chest. You know what? You're absolutely right. Yes, I still love your mom. I probably never stopped. But love isn't always enough. Sometimes trust breaks and you can't fix it. My science teacher says things can heal if you give them the right conditions. Like broken bones. People aren't bones, Sophia. No, but maybe they should be. Maybe if we treated broken hearts like broken bones, we'd be better at fixing them. Lucas stared at his daughter, this 11-year-old philosopher in a hospital gown. You're going to change the world someday. Only if your bone marrow works. It's working. I can feel it. Day 10 post-transplant, Sophia spiked a fever. 103.4 degrees. The doctors descended, drew blood, started antibiotics, talked in hushed voices outside her room. Isabella and Lucas stood together watching through the window. What's happening? Lucas asked. Infection. It's common post-transplant. Her immune system is basically non-existent right now. Is she going to be okay? I don't know. For 3 days, Sophia fought the fever, antibiotics barely touching it, her small body burning itself up. Lucas stayed in the room, reading to her even when she was too delirious to understand, holding her hand through the shaking. Isabella paced the hallway, unable to watch, unable to leave. On day 13, Sophia's temperature broke, 99.2 degrees, then 98.6. Normal, the doctors were cautiously optimistic. The marrow was engrafting. Her white blood cell count was rising. She was responding. But then came the rash. Day 15, small red spots on Sophia's arms, then her chest, then everywhere. Graft versus host disease. The new immune system Lucas had given her was attacking her body, seeing her cells as foreign, as the enemy. Dr. Patel stood in Sophia's room, her expression grave. We're starting high-dose steroids immediately. GVHD is serious, but we've caught it early. The next 72 hours are critical. Lucas looked at Sophia. She was covered in red welts, scratching at her arms weakly. Dad, it itches so bad. I know, baby. The medicine's going to help. Isabella stood at the window, perfectly still. Too still. Lucas crossed to her. Hey, she's going to be okay. You don't know that. I know she's a fighter. I know she has your strength and my stubbornness. I know she's not giving up. Isabella turned to him, Her face was a mask of anguish. What if I did this for nothing? What if I kept her from you for 11 years and she dies anyway? Don't go there. I deserve to go there. I made every wrong choice, and now… Stop. Lucas grabbed her shoulders, forced her to look at him. You made impossible choices in impossible circumstances. You raised an incredible daughter alone. You kept her alive long enough for me to find her. You did everything right where it counted. Did I? Because right now it feels like I destroyed everything. Your life, our chance, maybe even her. Isabella, listen to me. His voice was fierce, certain. I forgive you. She stared at him, disbelieving. What? I forgive you for all of it. The lies, the years, the choices. I forgive you. How? How can you possibly… Because I've spent 2 weeks watching you love our daughter. Because I see who Sophia became because of you. Because holding on to anger while she fights for her life is the stupidest thing I could possibly do. He pulled Isabella into his arms. We don't have time for grudges. We only have time for this. For her. For us. Isabella broke, sobbed into his chest, 12 years of guilt pouring out. Lucas held her, the woman he'd loved, the woman he'd lost, the woman he was choosing again. Behind them, Sophia's small voice. I knew you still loved each other. They turned. She was smiling despite the rash covering her skin. How are you smiling right now? Isabella asked through tears. Because my parents are finally together. That's worth smiling about. The steroids worked, slowly. Day by day, the rash faded. Sophia's body accepted the new marrow, stopped fighting itself. By day 25, she was officially in remission. By day 30, she was discharged with careful instructions about isolation, medication, follow-up appointments. Lucas drove them home to Isabella's small apartment in Boyle Heights. The first time he'd seen where his daughter had grown up. It was tiny, worn, but filled with love. Photos of Sophia at every age covering the walls. Her drawings taped to the refrigerator, a bookshelf overflowing with marine biology texts. Welcome to our place, Isabella said nervously. I know it's not much. It's perfect, Lucas said, because it's hers. That night, after Sophia fell asleep in her own bed for the first time in 2 months, Lucas and Isabella sat on the small couch. What happens now? She asked. Now we figure out how to be a family. Just like that? Just like that. Lucas, I don't expect you to just slot into our lives. I know you have your own apartment, your career. I'm selling the apartment, taking a position at a smaller firm with better hours. I've missed 11 years. I'm not missing any more. Isabella's eyes filled. You're serious? Completely, if you'll have me. Not just as Sophia's dad, as… He took her hand. I don't know what we are yet, but I want to find out. I want to wake up every day with both of you. I want to be there for soccer games and science fairs and terrible teenage years. I want all of it, Isabella, the whole messy, complicated, beautiful thing. She kissed him, soft and tentative at first, then deeper. 12 years of longing in that kiss. When they pulled apart, she was smiling. Okay, let's be a family. 6 months later, Sophia stood on the beach in Santa Monica. The wind whipping her hair, fully grown back now, thick and dark and beautiful. Lucas and Isabella stood on either side of her. There, Sophia pointed, that's where we'll see them. Giant Pacific octopuses, just like I wanted. They were going to Seattle, the 3 of them, a real family trip. Sophia's latest scans had come back clear, no signs of cancer, the transplant had worked, she was going to live. She turned to her parents, grabbed both their hands. Thank you, for saving me, and for saving each other. Lucas looked at Isabella, at this woman who'd given him the greatest gift and the greatest pain of his life. Who'd brought him back to himself by bringing him to his daughter. We saved each other, he said. And standing there on that beach, watching their daughter run toward the water she loved, Lucas Sullivan finally understood something he'd missed for 12 years. Sometimes the family you're meant to have takes the longest, hardest route to find you. But it's worth the wait. Because some stories don't end. They just begin again, stronger, wiser. Together. Do you have a what-if that haunts you? A story that needs to be told? Maybe it's about second chances. Lost love. Hidden truths. the families we break and rebuild. Whatever your story is, I can help you tell it. Romance that burns slow and real. Drama that grips from the first line. Characters who feel like people you know. Ready to bring your story to life? Let's create something unforgettable together. Contact me today and let's turn your idea into a story readers can't put down. Because everyone deserves to see their story told right.